striping. Will this be the new beauty fail, or will this be the new beauty holy grail? We're going to find it out on testing the method. Alright, so the definition of striping is it's for a natural look. Supposed to give you that sun-kissed glow. You are not supposed to use any orangey bronzer, any shimmery, or any that's too dark or too cool toned. So just right for your skin tone. And what you're going to do is, supposedly you're supposed to use like a stippling brush. This is all I have at the moment. I mean, I have a stippling brush, but I would rather use this. And what you do is you start from one cheek, the high point of one cheek, and you draw a stripe, hence the striping name, across your nose to the other top of the high cheekbone. I guess you could always do both and work your way in the center, or the center and fade it back. I'll try both, or whatever seems more comfortable. For a natural base, you're supposed to let your actual skin show through, so no covering freckles. What I've done already is I've used a light base for foundation, buffed that into my skin. Then I went in with some concealer and lightly concealed under my eyes and any problem areas. I put a little bit of color through my brows, a little bit of lip tint, and I set my under eye concealer with a little bit of powder. I have no powder on the rest of my face. I set my brows with some clear gel and brushed those out. And then I went in with some mascara just on my top lashes, only one coat. Alright, so we're going to start testing this out. The bronzer that I choose today is a liquid. They suggest, the interwebs suggest using a liquid. Today I'm going to be using the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. The Hoola, the liquid one. I'm going to put a little bit of pump on the back of my hand. I'm just going to start at the high points of my cheek. Now this is my first time trying this out, so bear with me. Start right over here. Alright, maybe I grabbed a little too much. So this is closer to the top of my cheekbones, as you can see. I will probably bring it down a little bit into the hollows. I think that's what you're supposed to do. I'll just start over here, doing the same, and I'm going to stipple. Alright, and then I'm going to bring this in, the leftovers, and dust this across my nose, or buff it across my nose, and fade it out. My brush smells really weird, I don't know why. Alright, do the same on the other side. We're going to stipple, buff it a little bit, make sure it's blended. Get a little bit on the ear, into that hollow of the cheek, on the tops of the cheekbone. Maybe this bronzer was a little too orangey. I think it'll be okay. It's blending pretty nicely into the skin. Alright, so it's a little high, I guess, for my taste, but we're testing this out, so we're just gonna see how this comes together. I kind of like the way that it looks on the nose right now, because a natural tan, most people who contour bronze only put it on their cheeks, their cheekbones, around the perimeters of their face, but a natural sun-kissed glow, you would be hit on your chin, you'd be hit right here a little bit, and on your nose. So the point of striping is to make that look natural and to bring that back into the beauty trending. Alright. Blend it out a little bit more, go back over the nose. According to the sources that I've read, you can just stop here, but I think what I'm going to do is use whatever's left over on the back of my hand. I'm going to go ahead and bronze up the rest of my face. So I'll go around the perimeter, just to add some more warmth. That way we're not having one stripe down our face. We want to balance everything. So get that in by the eyebrows. I'm doing more of a contouring than I am bronzing. That's okay. Do a little bit left over. I already have some on the nose, so I'm not going to go down the sides of the nose. Work a little bit over here by the jawline. Whatever is left over on the brush. And I'm going to wipe that off. You can just leave it here, but also what I've read is if you add a liquid blush, it kind of ties the look in together, makes it blend more seamlessly, and that way it's not so harsh with this line across your face. So I'm going to add some liquid blush, and then I'm going to go in with liquid highlighter also. I'm going to be using the Stila Aqua Color blush in the color Rose Water. Use this blush brush by BH Cosmetics. Get a little bit of that on my brush, maybe a little too much. I'm just going to stipple it on my cheeks. Yeah. And I'll use the leftover on this cheek. The liquid will add a nice sheen, and it'll make it blend better into the skin with the bronzer. Okay. You have to be really careful with these liquid blushes because they are pretty pigmented, and you can get a little too heavy a little too quick. So I might have to go in with some of that bronzer left over on my brush again. This might be okay. Some of my leftover foundation. I'm going to go in and buff that out with the bronzer brush to take down some of that harshness. Alright, now that blush is done, we're going to move on to liquid highlighter. I'm using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the color, well, let's see, oh, Moonstone. Just going to get a little bit of that, not much at all. This a little goes a long way. I probably even just put too much on the back of my hand. I'm going to use just a little foundation brush. I'm going to stipple this and pat it onto the tops of my cheekbones, bringing it down a little bit on that front of the cheek, melting it into the skin. I'm going to blend this in a little bit more and warm it up with my finger. Alright, so we've got that JLo glow going on, I wish. Blend it in, blend it down just a little bit. I'm going to use whatever's left over, pat that above my eyebrow just a little bit. Blend that in with my finger. I'm going to put some on the middle of my nose, not bringing it down too much because I don't want to make my nose appear wider. So I'll just keep it right about here. Now I'm going to put a little bit on the Cupid's bow. To give the appearance of fuller lips. And a little bit just touching the chin. I'm going to blend that in. Alright. Now that's completely done. You can choose whether to add powder or not. I'm going to add just a little bit because I have oily skin. And I'm using the Makeup Forever HD setting powder and this huge fluffy brush. I normally don't use fluffy brushes or like to buff in, but sometimes I just like to put it in certain areas. So more of this top zone right here. Down the nose. Get a little bit more, put it on the chin. And that highlighter will still show through. So don't worry about that. Alright, and then I'll just get barely any more, you can tell. And whatever's left over, just tap. And then swirl down the neck. Alright, so that was testing the method on the new Beauty Trend striping. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more testing of the methods, You can leave a comment down below. Don't forget to give a big thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. See you later. Bye.